everybody, this is Weldy time from the Retro Smash Video Game Podcast. Normally we wouldn't hit you up this early. We'd be playing our intro music, all that kind of fun stuff. We want to give you a little bit of a disclaimer. We're going to be talking about some games and some subject matter that's a little sensitive to some people. We just want to give you one of those viewer discretion is advised.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, but seriously, we're going to be talking about some rather sensitive subject matter for this one. So enjoy and thank you for listening. So now we don't get the creepy robot lady that's going, the following subject matter contains sexual innuendos. Viewer discretion is advised.
I might keep that in there.
This is the Retro Smash Video Game Podcast. Wherever you are, wherever you may be listening, thank you for hanging out with us today, live from the Gene Parmesan Memorial Studios. We're a retro video game podcast where some old friends sit around, drink beer, and talk old video games. I'm Weldy Time. Joining me here in the studio, he's Andy.
Oh my goodness.
Were you going for Krusty the Clown, or were you going for Guy Ledouche from MXC?
I don't know where I was going there for a minute.
Guy likes.
Oh,
Guy likes. Oh, pretty lady. Oh,
And joining us from the Retro Smash Cup on a String Radio Network, he's Guy Ledouche. Just kidding, he's Ricky. Ricky's back.
Oh, Guy is here. Guy loves it when you do the things to him, and he makes the weird noises. Back to you, Ken. Guy loves the undercarriage.
Could you imagine making love to someone just making weird noises like that?
Hey, that you I don't know. My wife put up with me, and now we have 2 kids.
I would say you'll have to ask the missus how she manages to do it with me every so often when I make those noises. So.
So I think it gets her off now.
Let's go,
dude. It's between that and the old you got it, dude. I'm about to. You got it, dude.
Well, that just made
That's my finishing line.
God.
Ooh, I lost breath on that one.
Oh, speaking of losing breath, Ricky, you take my breath away. How you been?
I have been doing relatively good. Work has been going awesome. The hotel that I work for, we recently got our quality assurance inspection, which means that the big wigs, they send like a person from Marriott. They come down, they say, hey, we want to make sure that you're doing everything by the standard. We did great. We got an 84% out of 100%.
Hey-o.
Yay.
I'm very happy with that score. Thank you. Last year, the GM before me, he scored I think it was like a 75% is what it was. So I got 9% higher than that, dude. And he's been working for the company for years.
Damn, son.
Yeah, I am loving it right now. Work has been going great. Personal life has been going fantastic. I have not been playing any video games recently because I have been spending all of my time watching TV. So
You got a top game for the year?
My top game for the year. That's a very good question because I don't think I bought any new games this year because I wasn't allowed to buy any new games this year.
Yeah, to beat those old ones to get that PS5 that never happened.
Right, yeah.
And I told myself that I wasn't going to buy anything new up until then. So, nope, I got nothing for once because I haven't played any new games this year. That's how depressing it is. Still haven't beaten all those games yet.
What have you been watching on TV?
We rewatched Scrubs, which I think I mentioned in the last episode. I think we're finishing up the entire show. We got like the last half of an episode left.
Is that on Disney Plus now?
No, it's on NBC. It's on Peacock.
Oh, okay. My girlfriend just told me it was on Disney. So I was like, oh shit, rewatch that.
Oh, right on. And then currently we're watching a show on Hulu. It is called Crime Scene Kitchen with Joel McHale. There are 3 seasons. It comes out on Fox. It is fantastic. fantastically
funny.
good. It is. It's very funny. We've been enjoying that one recently. But outside of that, we've been watching Krapopolis and What We Do in the Shadows and Abbott Elementary.
So 2 out of 3 IT crowd cast.
Yes. Oh, which reminds me about What We Do in the Shadows. So a year ago, I made a very drunken tweet. No joke. A full year ago, I made a very drunken tweet in the middle of the night while doing a power hour with the missus. We were sitting up drinking, having a blast. Somehow we ended up on the video of the guy who is a Chinese meal. That guy, the
This is a democracy manifest.
Yes. This is democracy manifest. That's the best video in the world. And I said that night, boy, I would give one of my nuts up if I could get Matt Berry to recreate this video. Fast forward a year, not a full year, but fast forward. We're watching the newest episodes of What We Do in the Shadows. And God damn it, if he doesn't say the fucking lines from that fucking video.
I'd never heard of that until you said that. And I'm like, wait, what are you talking about? And I think I watched that video front to back no less than 25 times. Hello, sir. Are you prepared to receive my limp penis?
It's the greatest thing ever. So throughout that episode and a couple more right after that, he actually drops the lines in there little by little. Like one of them, he's like, I see you know your judo well.
I see you know your judo well.
Nice in case you guys are wondering, apparently I am now a ghostwriter for What We Do in the Shadows. I'm absolutely adding, this one gets added to my fucking resume.
The Ricky
Fuck
resume.
everything.
Nice.
This one was on TV and I put that tweet out a lot fucking sooner. So for like our 12 listeners out there, your boy is a writer for What We Do in the Shadows. Even if it's just a ghostwriter from them stealing my stuff. I'm still counting that because it was my idea.
Count it. If full counts.
That's a full count. Ace of Spades, what's going on with you, brother? How's that house hunt coming along?
Well, not too many houses available in the area that we're looking for right this minute. The one that we were looking at got sold out from underneath us. Whatever that happens, it's going to be part of the housing search. Still looking around.
So what you're saying is I still have time for the ring.
Yeah, you better get on it, though, because a few more houses came up just yesterday, so I was like looking at them here. Work-wise, Christmas time, and it sucks ass. I don't understand why people want to steal during this time. I get why they steal, but don't steal alcohol or cash out the registers.
What? They're getting coal in their stocking. You know that now.
They're on Santa's bad list, to say the least. Deal with that. So I'm just like, get me through the freaking holidays, for the love of God. It's almost there. Then January, February are usually the slower months, so I can like relax and chill for those months.
Nice.
Well, I see you're finally back on streaming.
Yes.
You've been playing the one game that I've been watching you play that I forgot the name of.
I've actually been playing through...
Ninja Turtles.
I submitted my times. I've been speedrunning Shredder's Revenge.
Yes.
And I did a speedrun of Streets of Rage 4. My Streets of Rage 4 time I got with Adam on normal. Not easy, on normal, 1 hour, 8 minutes. And with Shredder's Revenge, I got my best time. I finally got the under 90, and they're both verified.
Hey,
and they're on speedrun.com right now.
Shit. What place you get?
For Streets of Rage 4, they separate them by character. So for Adam, for normal, I'm 3rd out of 3. But the best place is like 58 minutes. Second best place is like an hour and 2 minutes, and I'm there at an hour
right
8.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not bad. The Shredder's Revenge one is really funny though. I am also in a line of 3 people. It's because I play with Mikey on chill percent, which is like their easiest difficulty.
Yeah.
And I beat the guy that was in second. So I'm in second place on that list.
Out of 2?
Yeah, second out of 3. No, second out of 3.
Okay.
Second out of 3. I sniped him by 14 seconds.
Ooh, that's rough for that guy.
Ooh, damn.
So it moved me to second. I don't remember what his name is. He had a French flag by his name.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Shout out.
Mr.
Well, we don't have any
Worldwide.
French listeners, so.
Yeah, with Mr. Worldwide. The leaderboards for Rita's Revenge don't open for another 4 days from when we're cutting this. So we're cutting this on the 19th. So the leaderboards on speedrun.com don't open up until after the 23rd. I did a quick speedrun last night off stream. I did the first 3 levels, which one of them is the Megazord fight against, Goldar. I think it was Goldar.
Goldar!
Yeah, so the fight against Goldar. So between those first 3 levels, I nailed down in 21 minutes.
Shit.
Yeah, I felt really good attitude about that. I just need to go play through the rest of the game, and then I can just straight up arcade mode it the rest of the time. But I've actually looked on YouTube for any early speedruns. I don't see any quite yet. So I think if I get on there in the next few days and be like, hey, Rita's Revenge speedrun, first one on YouTube, this is my first attempt. I've actually played through it enough to where I'm developing strategies now. But what I've been doing, and I found this to be beneficial, is I'm rolling into a kick now. So in Shredder's Revenge, you can go forward to go into a dash, and then if you hit your attack button with Mike, you go into a face first dive. It's similar in Power Rangers, you go into a kick though. But there's a backwards roll in Power Rangers to help you avoid attacks. But if you go into your backwards roll and then hit the opposite direction and then attack, you go straight into a kick.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so if I'm in a sticky situation, I can just roll any direction I want and then hold which way I want to kick. It'll kick in that direction. With that game and the mechanics, it's kind of weird to get out of the middle of a fight. There's no like anti-air like you have in Streets of Rage 4, where with Adam, I can just do a jump kick to clear out, or I can do a special attack, which will like do a whirlwind around where I am at. So if I'm in the middle of like 4 attackers and they just keep hit me from the left and hit me from the right, I can get out of there. You can't do that in this game. Right. However, I can roll out of an attack, get to the left of all of them, and then kick back to the right, and then kick all of them at the same time. So I'm like, that's kind of a neat strat. That's something that I completely found on my own. So I'm like, my God, I'm a real speedrunner now. I felt really good.
I see a lot of people are speedrunning Astrobot. Just bring that back up, so maybe you should download it. Just saying.
I have a list of what I need to get back to speedrunning next year. Just for you, I put the Lion King back on the shelf. I dusted it off. I couldn't find any of my old runs though because they're so old.
It's like 2 years old tops.
Well, yeah, but they don't have my old runs on Twitch anymore.
Oh,
yeah,
that sucks.
I mean, I can't even find it from wherever we were doing the Sweet 16 through. I want to say that was in Retro Game Live, maybe.
Yeah.
Wherever we were doing the Super 16, they didn't have my recording either. So I have no prior information. It's not like Jurassic Park where I keep all my notes.
Yeah.
And it'll take me once or twice to derust. This I have to completely learn from scratch. If I can get under 25 minutes again, I feel like that'd be a win.
Well, I'll be watching it.
Hey, and speaking of a win, are you kids ready for this week's game?
Is Ricky drinking anything before we go in?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, actually, I am. I am drinking a whiskey Coke, and then right after that, I also have a gumball head.
I thought you were going sober there for a minute.
So it's funny, as far as going sober, what I did end up doing is I stopped drinking beer as heavily as I was, and I cut back on the frequency in which I was even drinking at all. So now I maybe drink once a week, maybe twice realistically. I mean, and that's a very hard twice. However, I have lost a full 20 pounds since October, since I've actually cut back on drinking. I have not changed my eating habits. I have not gone to the gym. I have strictly just cut back on the amount that I've been drinking. And I've started drinking more water as a whole.
Yes.
And I've lost 20 full fucking pounds in 2 months. I feel it. I don't feel as bloated anymore. My pants are actually fitting semi-correctly again. Belly's still a little round, but it doesn't look like I have a full fucking basketball under my fucking shirt now.
Well,
I
GG's,
still drink. Yeah, thank you. I still drink. It's just not as often, not as much. I hate admitting it. I know it's healthier for you, and I do have slightly more energy. If anybody's wondering why you're feeling so sluggish, think about the amount of alcohol you're drinking. Maybe cut back a little bit on it.
Yeah.
Andy, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking the Vizzy orange cream pop. It tastes like an orange creamsicle. It's a seltzer, but it's pretty good. I got extra ones if you want one.
I will, because I'm not drinking anything.
Okay, I'll pass it down.
No, hold on. There we go. I wasn't drinking anything because I was going to go to the store before I came home. Aha, there we go. I was going to go to the store before I came home, go get a drink, and the kids were like, Daddy, you want to do pile drivers? I was like, yes. So yeah, I pile drive my kids.
Okay.
So we my wife and I have a California King. My wife and I have my wife. I am now to the point where I'm Batista bombing my kids onto the bed.
You're not breaking the couch or
Yeah, no couches, no spears into the couch. The furniture survives. I'm trying to do more playing with the kids. I've been trying to stay off my phone and play with the kids. So that's just what I'm trying to do. But so it's like, if I don't make it, I can always go to the store later at night. Like if I want to go get a pop at 7 o'clock, it's like, my stream can wait till 7:30. I get to play with them for a little bit. And speaking of playing, you guys ready for the game now?
Okay, yes.
There we go. Is it this or is it that? These jabronis have to choose. All right. There we go. So it's been a minute since we've done this.
Been a while.
It's been a while.
I don't know the rest of the lyrics.
Wish I could. Nope, we're playing another round of Or Steven Seagal, baby.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Or Steven Seagal. So your category for this week is Me Love the Punani.
Of course.
God.
Of course.
I'm going to give you a list of 7 names. You have to tell me if each of the names on the list is either a video game that was censored in some way, shape, or form, or a song off of Steven Seagal's second album, Mojo Priest. Number 1, Love Doctor.
That has to be Steven Seagal.
I'm going with game.
It was a Steven Seagal. Oh, no, it was a
yeah.
Steven Seagal song
Okay.
from Mojo Priest.
Do that again.
Which, by the way, in case you were curious, Mojo Priest got a 1.5 out of 5 stars. Mojo Priest.
Hold on. Let's. Are there any boths?
I was actually really close to finding a both. I came so close, and I could not get one.
Oh.
You won't believe how close this was, and I'll tell you at the end of the game because I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, I was having almost both at the end there.
Yeah, so by the way, Tom Jurek of AllMusic panned the album, rating it a 1.5 out of 5 stars, stating that Seagal's guitar playing, quote, rarely rises above bar band pedigree, and that all of this music takes itself so seriously it borders on delusional excess.
Ouch.
Yeah, but for those of you keeping score at home, it did get all the way up to 18th on the Danish album chart.
Shout out to her Danes.
Yeah, shout out to the Danes, baby. Yeah, there
I'm
we go.
not shouting out those days. Hey, you have poor taste in music by putting that
That's why they don't listen to us.
Because they love the punani. Number 2, Red Rooster.
I won't game on that one.
I'm going game.
Steven Seagal song,
crap.
baby.
Ah.
Ah, yes. Number 3, Rule of Rose.
I'm going game.
Yeah, game also.
It is a game.
Sweet.
It was a 2006 survival horror game developed by Punchline and published by Sony Entertainment for the PS2. It takes place in London in 1930. The plot revolves around a 19-year-old woman named Jennifer who becomes trapped in a world ruled by young girls who have established a hierarchy called themselves the Red Canyon Aristocrats. Now, the controversy comes in, says Rule of Rose was the subject of a moral panic in Europe. At E3, Atlas announced it would be releasing Rule of Rose in the United States. Sony said that wasn't really in sync with their corporate image. The company wanted to be a bit tamer. The developers disagreed, saying the theme was supposed to be one of intimate familiarity, and they had indeed intended to portray how children behave without the filter of guilt or sin. It was picked up by the British media, alleged the game had scenes of children buried alive underground,
Whoa.
in-game sadomasochism, and
Hey.
underage eroticism.
Sweet.
Yeah, for those of you keeping score at home.
Jesus.
What's that book about the kid, Piggy kid? Kids are on an island. Lord of the Flies.
Lord of the Flies, yeah.
So similar to that.
It kinda, yeah. Number 4, Hearts of Iron.
Game.
That's a game.
Yes, that is a game. Paradox Studio 2002 for Microsoft Windows allows the player to take control of a nation in the world and guide it through World War II and the years immediately after it. It was banned in China because the game's depiction of Taiwan under Japanese control and Tibet, Sikkim, and Manchuria as independent nations.
Oops.
So the Chinese did not like that. So that is why that was banned. Number 5, Dark Angel.
Definitely Seagal.
I'm going. Let's go
Pikachu.
Seagal.
Yes, you guys both got it right. It is Seagal. Here is where I came close because I had Dark Angel, and there's also 2 games. Dark Messiah of Might and Magic and Dark Sector were the other ones that I came close to being a both.
You almost came close. Oh.
Speaking of that sound effect, number 6, Talk to My Ass.
You know, I want to say Seagal.
That sounds
for
like a
some reason.
Seagal. I'm going Seagal.
It is Seagal. Yes, Talk to My Ass. It was number 9 on the album, and it was right behind Alligator Ass, Barbecue,
yes.
and Hoochie Coochie Man.
Oh boy.
It was followed by Dust My Broom and Slow Boat to China, in case you were curious.
What the?
And finally, number 7, 4 Rhythms Across the Blue.
I'm going Seagal.
I think you're mixing it up. Game.
It is a video game.
Yes. 6.
Yes, it is. Okay, I'm going to butcher this. Okana, 4 rhythms across the blue. Also known in Japan as Ano Kanata no 4 Rhythm, officially abbreviated and translated as 4 Rhythms Across the Blue, is a Japanese adult visual novel developed by Sprite and released for Windows in November of 2014. So happy 10-year anniversary of that game, by the way. There's your early happy time. It's a romance visual novel which the player assumes the role of Masaya Hinata. Much of its gameplay is spent reading the story's narrative and dialogue. Thomas Knight of Nook Gaming praised the world building, and Hey Poor Players Kenny McKee said if you like visual novels, you're going to like Okana. However, Ruben Mount of 6 Axis and Lyle Carr felt the lewd moments and panty shots were a negative. So how'd you guys do?
I got 6.
You got 6?
Yeah.
Andy got 6 and I got 4. So Andy won this one.
Yay! You also took a straw poll of how we did throughout the year. How did we do this year?
Yeah, so after doing quite a bit of research today, no joke, a lot of research, I even narrowed it down. So earlier this year, it was mentioned back in February, back on episode 52, 37 minutes, 37 seconds, I said, when being questioned if I was keeping track of not just the scores, but also who was winning overall, I said, I guess I got a whole lot of podcasts to go back through at a certain point. Well, lo and behold, today was that certain point. So I got to go back through.
Surprise, surprise, we got a lot of downloads today, weirdly enough.
Right?
Yeah, surprise. So starting back from episode 44 all the way up to today, episode 69,
Nice.
I have tallied up all of the scores, and I'm going to go over a few of the highlights from those moments, including today. Andy has accumulated a total of 6 wins altogether. He has the longest streak. Well, actually, no. Now I have. Well, maybe. I guess we'll find out depending on. I never counted that. Andy has the longest streak right now in between winning a game, where he won the very first one of the year at episode 44, and the next time he would win another one would be episode 57.
Oops.
Mitch has accumulated the most wins overall with a total of 8. He has also managed to clean sweep on 2 games. One of the games actually had extra half points. So this year he got 2 perfect 7s. This year I managed to get 2 perfect 7s as well.
Shit.
Me and him were tied for that one. At the same time, I did not come out on top this year. I ended up with a total of 5 victories under my belt. I've also missed the most amount of games as well, with it being at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've missed 5 weeks as far as recording, so I missed out on 5 games, which not that big of a deal. It kind of hurts a little bit.
So what's the rankings?
It would be Mitch, Andy, myself, and then just to really make this fun, Weldy and I are both tied with a total of 5 victories.
Yay.
Now, to get Weldy to achieve a victory, that means collectively as a group, myself, Andy, and Mitch have to score under 11 points. As we do a tally, it is 21 points altogether that can be scored between the 3 of us. I took half of that, which is 10.5. So I'm giving it the full 11. So in order for Weldy to win a game, that means that all 3 of us did not score a collective total of at least 11 points per game. Weldy picked up his first official victory on episode 49, which was a Jeopardy-based game that Andy had hosted. And Weldy had won that episode, which was his first victory of the game.
First victory of the
year.
Yeah, the South Park. Yeah.
Yep. It was the South Park episode. He would then go on to collect his next victory at episode 58, and then 62, 64, and today at 69.
Nice.
Now, there is one game where none of the usual cast members actually won. That would be episode 59, where Aunt Liz picked up 6 points in comparison, where she picked up 6 points, where Andy scored 3 and I scored 4.
So who has to take the shot of Malort? Me?
It's going to be me. Okay, now hold on a second. I have to say this because some of those episodes were not this or that. Some of those episodes were the Showcase Showdown.
And I did not count the Showcase Showdown.
Okay.
Because there was a Showcase Showdown where Mitch and Andy both overbid.
I would count that as a win for you.
I'm going to say that's a win for your boy. Actually, no, that can't be a win for me because
the house wins.
I can't win because of your stupidity because you thought a replica Wienermobile was $250,000, you fucking moron.
So for that showcase, I did count that as a Weldy victory because neither Andy or Mitch won and there was no tiebreaker for it. So that is a Weldy victory. Now, with that being said, it would be between myself and Weldy that would have to do the shot because we both tied with the bottom barrel of 5. Or we could count Aunt Liz and she gets to do the shot. So ha 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 ha.
Nope. So next episode we record, not the episode 70, but episode 71. You guys are going to have to do a shot of Malort.
Yummy.
Delicious. I'm fine with that.
Or
I'll
you could
bring it
just
down.
buy us the Steven Seagal Mojo Priest album off of eBay for $28. Apparently, it's super rare.
Well, the Malort's a little cheaper, so I'll go.
The Malort's cheaper than Steven Seagal
A
album.
shot? Yeah, it's like $2 for a shot.
There's a full Steven Seagal signed CD booklet, $85.99 signed.
Ugh. 80, jeez. To spend $86 on a Steven Seagal. Well, it's signatured, but
Oh, no. Steven Seagal signed CD booklet, Mojo Priest. To nobody's surprise, 0 watchers.
woohoo.
Oh, no, there's 4. There's 4 people that have this on their watch list. 4 people have added this to
They
their...
just want to see how stupid us Americans are.
4 people have added this to their watch list. There's a full certification number on here. It is straight up signed, the full CD, everything. Now I know I'm getting you guys for Christmas.
Yeah, that shows up on my doorstep and that's going straight to the trash.
Just $80 in the trash can.
You wouldn't listen to Mojo
Yep,
Priest? I think I'd
absolutely.
rather listen to Mojo Priest than songs from the Crystal Cave.
Nope. Negative, Captain. I will not listen to the Mojo Priest. You can't pay me to listen to Steven Seagal singing.
Well, Steven Seagal paid you in V-Bucks.
I was going to say, like,
Is Steven Seagal paying me Steven Seagal money?
does Steven Seagal have money? Like, what is his current... Oh, damn it. Now I want to, like, what is Steven Seagal's current net worth?
Unless I'm getting like Dangerous Grounds sort of fucking money, I'm not listening to anything by that fucking
Under
guy.
Siege 2, Benny.
Oh, he currently has a net worth of $14 million, so he's doing something right.
Better than me.
Yeah, he's a lot better than me, too, yeah. One says 14, one says 16.
You know what else is better than both of you? These nice games that we are talking about for episode 69.
Nice.
Nice.
So we had floated the idea of episode 69 being porn games. I said, let's broaden it and let's make it to where we can label it as not safe for work / banned games. It's going to be a little all over the spectrum. So if you've listened to our controversial games episode or our ESRB episode, there's going to be a lot of similarities on here. But this one, we're really going to touch on some games that absolutely just do not belong in the realm. And we'll bring those up.
Not for children.
Yeah, so we're going to be touching on some sensitive subjects. So if you didn't catch that at the beginning, we're going to be touching on a couple games that have very, very sensitive subjects here. So just kind of viewer discretion.
We'll make light of it, but
I mean, because
the views of R3 do not reflect the views of
yeah,
our
I mean,
podcast.
there's some games on here that are especially, in the words of Law and Order, especially heinous. But you know, they were made and they're banned. And I
Yes.
feel like we should talk about them.
Yep.
So Andy, you said you had a whole bunch of games for the Atari.
Oh, you want to go over Atari first?
Yeah, let's hit the Atari ones first. I want to see what you
these
got over
ones
here.
are raunchy.
Yeah.
Despite the fact they're only like 2 blocks.
Yeah, they made like
disturbing.
8-bit, like not even 8-bit,
That's
like
2-bit.
like 2-bit gaming, like dirty as hell. Like there's one game I'm waiting for you to bring up, but you go ahead and let's see what you got.
All right, well, I guess we'll start it off with Bachelor Party or the Bachelorette Party. Your bottle of like lube or something. I don't know. You shoot either a naked guy or a naked girl out of the bottle, and then your goal is to collect as many naked people of the opposite sex, depending on what game you are. It's kind of like a brick out situation. You control your paddleboard thing, and then you shoot the ball out, and then you try to collect as many blocks as you can.
Oh, okay.
But it's naked people instead.
It's still crazy to me that there was a whole entertainment block set aside. Like as soon as the Atari was made, they're like, oh yeah, we have Pac-Man, we have Pong, this is great, but we need a division of just adult games. So I probably have not heard of any of these except for one.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit here in awe and listen to what kind of games that you're bringing up.
So I didn't live in this time, but I did live in this time. The behind the curtain at the video rental store had a lot of these games, Atari games, back behind that curtain.
Did it really?
signs. From what I'm told, I was 8. So I wasn't allowed to go behind the curtain to see the Atari games / big box sets they had back there that you can rent.
Sure.
But I'm told that games that you could rent were in those back room behind the curtains things. Beat 'em and eat 'em. You're a dude on top of a roof jerking off. There's some girls with open mouths, and they try to catch your cum.
What? What? Who thought these were?
As you jerk off the roof.
Exactly. How is okay? I mean, yeah, it's okay. All right, go on.
Then there's the reverse gender called the Philly Flasher.
Okay, I'm regretting this episode.
Where you're a witch for some reason on the roof instead, and you're squirting titty milk into dudes' mouths. Oh. That made my vision blurry. I'm laughing too hard. Gigolo is a memory type game where you go around, find the house to house to find somebody to hook up with. You got to avoid cops and robbers for some reason.
So it's like Mappy. You notice how there's a lot of parallels with some of these games? Like, oh, that game is just Breakout, but with boobs.
Well, here's one. X-Man is Pac-Man, but you're a naked guy. And you're, instead of ghost, you're avoiding scissors, which makes you an X-Man.
Oh, God.
There was a Porky's movie tie-in game that came out, I guess.
Really?
Yeah. From what I read up, is like the original Donkey Kong meets Frogger. The picture that I saw had a lady showering in the middle of the game. The screen. I didn't look too much deeper than that. Another gender swap one. The male version's called Night on the Town. You're a naked dude. You have to get across this river to get to the naked lady on the other side. There's like demons and alligators and stuff. And then the reverse of that is Lady in Waiting. Same thing. You're just a lady, naked lady trying to get across to the naked guy.
That's just dating in college.
Avoiding demons.
Fighting demons, swimming across rivers. Yeah, that's just dating in college.
And then the one I know you're looking forward to is called Custer's Revenge.
Yep, that's the one.
You are General Custard, who is trying to dodge some arrows to get to the other side of the screen, where a naked Native American lady is there for you to have your way with, and you 2-bit digitally hump her.
The fact that I've never heard that sentence before in my life, you 2-bit digitally humper. I think that's a new sentence for me.
Those are the Atari games. I do have a bigger list of other games.
Yeah, I do too. So do you guys want to do like an additional second round game? So techspirited.com gave me a list of video games that are banned around the world. I'm going to give you the game. You have to give me one of the countries that you think it might be banned in, and I will
more than likely Australia or China.
Yay, you know what? Let's do that. So there are 17 games. We'll go through them, and then you guys give me a country you think it's banned in, and I will tell you why it is banned in some of these countries, okay? So let's start with an easy one. Like I said, these are from techspirited.com. The first one is Grand Theft Auto, and it just has various entries.
Oh, not from the hot coffee?
Yeah, not specifically from the hot coffee. It has here just Grand Theft Auto. There's some for violence and profanity. There's one episode of Liberty City was as the game used the music of a Brazilian composer without proper authorization.
Weird.
There, you learned something today.
Okay, well then, how about Brazil?
Okay, Brazil's a good one. Ricky, would you like to also go Brazil?
No, let's go. Oh, is there a certain list of countries that I have to go with, or can I just throw one out there?
Just throw one out there. This is kind of like your unofficial game of the day.
Let's go with China.
Not China. Banned in Brazil, Kuwait, Malaysia, Saudi Arabia, South Korea, Thailand, and the UAE. South Korea, Saudi Arabia, UAE banned the game due to their violence and profanity. Brazil banned it because of the use of a Brazilian composer without proper authorization. Thailand banned the entire GTA series because an 18-year-old murdered a taxi driver in a way inspired by the game.
What the fuck?
Yeah, Indonesia, the San Andreas entry was not banned due to the depiction of violence or drugs. Instead, authorities took objection to the protagonist dancing with his girlfriend without any pants on.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Mm-hmm. Yes. There's only one country with this one. EA Sports MMA.
What?
EA Sports MMA.
I heard you. I'm surprised that the MMA game is...
It is banned in one country.
North Korea.
Not North Korea. Ricky, what do you got?
I'm going to go with China again.
Now would have been a good time for Denmark.
What?
What?
Yes, and it's not for the reason you think. Apparently, Denmark has a law which prohibits the marketing of its energy drinks, and EA Sports MMA is filled with these in-game advertisements, which the company chose not to edit out. Okay, next on the list, Manhunt 1 and 2.
Yep, that was on my little list here.
Okay.
I don't remember where it was banned at, though.
Isn't that banned like literally everywhere?
Close to everywhere, but side note, if I step on your toes with any of these, yell at me, unless you would like for me to...
No.
Okay.
I'm going to say Australia.
Okay.
I'm going to say the UK.
Ooh, UK is a good one. Good answer. UK is correct. The goal is to control a prisoner amnesiac helping him came from an asylum. Due to its disturbing nature, a multitude of countries, Germany, Malaysia, the United Kingdom, banned the horror survival games. Manhunt 2 also has the dubious distinction of being the only game to have been banned in Ireland. However, with the amount of violence and high quality imagery one finds in modern games, banning Manhunt games does not make much sense. Next one. This one I think is the most crazy one of the entire list. Pokemon trading card game.
Whoa.
The December 1998, not like Pokemon Blue or Pokemon Red,
The card
Pokemon
game.
trading card game.
You know, I feel like this is a weird one. I'm going to say, like, China.
Okay, China.
I feel like it's for gambling or something.
I'm going to say Germany because they don't like having fun over there.
You are both wrong, but Andy was on the right track. Despite its non-offensive nature, Saudi Arabia banned the game across the nation. Apparently, authorities felt the certain cards in the game feature the symbol of Zionism, which would be like the normal energy star, right? And the game as a whole involved gambling. Postal 1 and 2.
Freaking everywhere should have been banned to begin with.
Yes. So, yeah, it just says and many more. Banned Australia, New Zealand, Brazil. Extreme violence, gross behavior such as animal cruelty, public urination, racism, homophobia, and much more. The developers of the game commented a player can complete the game without resorting to any of the horrible behavior, but the intention is quite clear.
Yeah. Use a cat as a silencer.
Yeah, I did see that. That's disturbing. Football Manager 2005.
I'm going to say England for some reason.
I'm still going to go with China.
China is correct.
Damn.
Yeah.
China is the only country it is banned in. Investigations revealed that the game had separate Tibetan and Taiwanese teams, which was tantamount to recognizing Tibet and Taiwan as independent nations.
Piss off.
Irking Chinese authorities, leading to the ban.
What?
Eventually, though, an edited version without the teams was released and the ban was lifted.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah, it came out November 2004, so happy 20th anniversary to Football Manager 2005.
How butthurt of a fucking country government. Ugh.
You're talking about butthurt countries. Now is a good time for Battlefield 4.
What? Oh, okay. Who's the bad guy in that? The United Arab Emirates.
UAE, okay.
Oh, let's go Saudi Arabia.
You should have went with China again. Pakistan and China. Battlefield 4 chose both Pakistani and Chinese armed forces as bad guys in different stages of the game, and it was banned in both countries for discrediting their national image. In fact, selling or playing the game in Pakistan can lead to jail or community service.
Jeez.
Yeah, there you go. The Guy game.
We just talked about this.
It was banned in one country.
Australia.
The United States.
It was the United States. Yes. Revealed one of the models of the game was apparently 17 while the shooting took place. Since it involves watching video of sexy women in bikinis, this was against the anti-pornography laws protecting minors, and hence the game was banned.
Compared to the rest of the games that we're about to talk about.
Yeah, especially this one here, rape play. This is almost everywhere. It's almost banned all across the globe. The objective of the game is to have a player stalk and rape a family consisting of mother and two daughters.
Cool.
While it is not surprising the game was banned in many countries, what's surprising is Argentina's ban for the game. Apparently, the main problem the Argentinian authorities had was that one of the daughters appears to be underage. So
I guess that's good.
yeah, so it's almost like, well, if we're overage, would you allow it? But
Yeah, what
no,
the fuck?
not. Yeah, that's one of those games that should have never been
Existed.
That should have never been made.
I have a game I'd like to bring up that should never been existed, which is
Yes.
on the ban list of a lot of places.
Go for it.
The game Hatred.
Hey, okay.
Yeah.
It is
yeah.
a very recent game that just came out. It is a top-down shooter kind of dual stick thing. You're just a dude who goes around and like there's games where you just go around and kill people because of whatever. This game is like I'm a school shooter simulator kind of thing.
Oh, there is actually a school shooter simulator, isn't there?
I'm sure there is. There's that JFK simulator, which is kind of fucked up too. But yeah, you're just the dude who gets pissed off one day and you just killing people because there's no rhyme or reason.
And it's like I said, we would be apropos not to at least bring up that these games were made. Kind of why we're doing this episode. It's like, listen, there were games that were banned, and because a lot of people don't know that God of War, one of the greatest series ever made, was actually banned in a certain country. It was banned in Saudi Arabia. They consider all games having God as part of the title to be blasphemy.
For fuck's sake.
So sexual themes and partial nudity to the characters were other nails in the coffin. The developers of the game are completely prohibited from ever setting foot in that country.
Talking about God of War, I do have another little small list here of the games that I don't want to consider them pornographic, but they do involve nudity. GTA was one of the first games that had a male dick in it. Lost in the Damned, we talked about that on our GTA episode. Baldur's Gate 3, you can make your characters naked if you want and just run around naked. Saints Row, same thing, make your dude naked. They had the blur on your thing, but you can still just be a naked character running around.
Which, by the way, speaking of making your character naked, shout out to Chibi Tiff. That's how her and I met. So she's friends with Airy Babble. She's like, hey, we're going to go raid Chibi Tiff's channel. They're good friends. I think they're friends IRL. And so we raided her channel, and she was playing Cyberpunk.
Yep, Cyberpunk's on there.
Yep, and she was making her
you can make your genitals extra
right
large.
When we raided there. I'm like, oh, hi. It was just it's something funny we laugh about. But shout out to her. She's a great Fortnite player.
Witcher is another one where there's some nudity in there. Metro Last Light, Mafia 3, and then like God of War, there's definitely a sex scene where you can hook up with a couple ladies in a bathtub, hot tub thing.
Nice.
Fun stuff.
This one's kind of weird. Phantasmagoria.
Oh, yeah.
I've never heard of this. Released in October 95. Do you know where this might be banned?
I'm going to say the UK.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm going with that too.
Australia.
Oh,
the plot of Phantasmagoria revolves around a couple who moved to a home previously owned by a black magic practitioner. The house is possessed by a demon which takes control of the husband, making him commit acts of violence towards his wife. The violence in the game includes a rape scene and a pendulum slicing the woman's head in half.
Jesus.
Yeah, this prompted Aussie authorities to ban the scary game. And if you can make those graphics extremely real in 1995, then, I mean, what does that say about you, I guess? One last one. Mercenaries, Playground of Destruction. One country.
Let's go with, you know what? Fuck it. Let's go with Australia. Let's chase the greatness.
I'm going to go with China.
You guys are both very, very close location-wise. South Korea.
Of course.
Australia's not close to South Korea.
Oh, close-ish. It's close in the UK.
Fair, I guess fair.
The Mercenaries was banned in South Korea, citing that the game could lead to a rise in tension between North and South Korea. Since the game depicts North Korea as villains, considering how touching North Korea is, the decision to ban the game might have been a wise one. So while countries such as France and South Africa are not known for bans of any game, a few countries have implemented blanket bans on computers and video games. The pursuit of stopping online gambling, Greece banned all electronic video games in 2002, and the sale of any electronic media games could lead to huge fines and imprisonment. The rule was relaxed in 2005 following protests from the EU. Now only games with financial transactions are banned. On the other hand, Venezuela has banned all games which have shooting of any weapon as part of its play in a bid to stem rising violence across the country.
Well, I'm not going to get into that. Well, I got a few other things that I wanted to bring up.
So you might be going more NSFW games. I have games that were censored for reasons you might not expect. Let's see what you got first.
Oh, well, mine's all just very naughty games.
Okay, we'll go with your very naughty games. Go ahead.
So I got two that I was kind of questioning on. Dead or Alive volleyball.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
They're not naked, but I mean, come on.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, you're playing Barbie dress up kind of with bikini babes that some reason are from a fighting game, but they're playing volleyball.
Yes, they are.
Lollipop Chainsaw, another one of those games where it doesn't have any nudity in it, but she's wearing a very skimpy skirt. You can look up her dress, sort of, but she like kicks your camera thing.
I mean, she's also basically portraying a high schooler too, so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true.
We've talked about Mr. Mosquito, not pornographic, but one of the levels is a girl in a bathtub who is underage, and you gotta like land on her boob and suck blood out of her. So I'm like, that's pretty inappropriate. Duke Nukem 3D, not necessarily nudity in there. You go to a porno theater And they're strippers, but they have nipple tassels on, so you don't really see anything.
Shake it for me, baby.
A lot of bubble gum.
Shake it for me.
Cousin, I wish my breath smelled like American big tassel titties.
I got a couple FMV CDI type games. Plumbers Don't Wear Ties.
Oh, yep.
Something's brought up. It's a dating sim, but it's a FMV. Not nudity, but there's a bunch of cleavage and panties. Night Trap, we brought that up in our ESRB episode. That one got hit hard because the sexual innuendo, I guess. You're going into some teenager's room and watching her shower, but there's no nudity again, but it's implied.
It's implied, yeah. That one came out around the time like Mortal Kombat did, like around
Yes.
that time where video games were very extremely under a microscope.
Yes.
And like everything that, oh, it's implied or you know what's going on here. Anything that was like that was getting the axe.
The Joe Lieberman.
Yes.
But he did what he wanted to do, but he didn't get very far with some things. Because fast forward quite a bit, we could bring up the Leisure Suit Larry series.
Oh.
Yep.
That is another, quote, dating simulator. It's a point-and-click type game. I distinctly remember playing an episode where you're a sperm dodging obstacles. I do have a list of the Leisure Suit Larry games, if you'd like me to. The first one that came out in 1987 was Land of the Lounge Lizards. Then there was Looking for Love, and then in parentheses, In Several Wrong Places. Passionate Patty in Pursuit of the Pulsating Pectorals. Passionate Patty does a little undercover work.
Ooh.
Shape Up or Slip Out. Love for Sail. Sail spelled the boat sail. Magna Cum Laude, which is the big one that a lot of people don't remember. Box Office Bust. Wet Dreams Don't Dry. And Wet Dreams Don't Dry Twice. And that was the last one that came out in 2020.
I'm sorry, that name kills me.
It's very surprising that we managed to get that many games. And they're not like good games to play either. They are like the goofiest looking fucking games ever.
Yeah, you're like a short
yeah.
40-year-old George Costanza looking motherfucker trying to date hot babes.
Nah, dude, George Costanza actually has swag. Larry does not.
George Costanza has swag. Can we put that on our next t-shirt?
Something that never came out in the Americas. This is the only EU European. The Lula series, the Sexy Empire.
Oh.
This came out from Take-Two Interactive back in 1998. It is a business simulator revolving around the erotica industry.
Oh.
It's also a click and point kind of Sam & Max type of situation where you're this lady. You need to spend money to rent a hotel room to shoot your pornography in. You have to buy the tapes and the recorder. You sell that, you make some money. Then you use that money to shoot another scene, say in a bar bathroom where some dude's pissing in the corner or whatever the fuck. You use that money to make another video. It's a business simulator, but you're a porno lady.
You become super porno lady.
Yes.
Super porno lady.
So like the early days of like OnlyFans?
I guess essentially, I mean, there was those videos out there.
You don't know how they got there, but you know they're out there.
Well, Hustler had the local wives club or whatever the fuck that was about.
Oh, yeah.
Where women would send their Polaroids in and they'd put them in the back of the Hustler. Fun times.
Is that my third grade teacher? What's else going on here?
Jesus.
Speaking of Hustler magazine, while we were down in Nashville, we drove past, I want to say it was like a Hustler video store and a Hustler club.
They still exist?
Definitely still a thing.
Interesting.
It was weird, and there was a moment when we looked at each other, and I was like, I don't think we got enough money to go in there.
I was about to say, you turn the car around like, all right.
I mean, we drove past it a couple times and we were like, just because it's like right when you pull off the express ramp driving into downtown.
It's one of those lines
And
dead
it was
situations.
like, ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, kind of, but it's like right dead smack in the middle of downtown. And it was like, oh boy, if we had just a little bit more time and money, it'd have been a different story.
Talking about Hustler, there was a game called Playboy the Mansion. That was interesting. So it's basically The Sims, but you're Hugh Hefner at the Playboy Mansion. There was celebrities you could bring in. So like Carmen Electra would show up randomly, but you could just have sex with her in the fucking grotto. Like...
That's nuts because it's like when you think of Carmen Electra in a video game, I don't think about that. I think of NFL 2K5.
That's because you're a fucking nerd.
I am a geek. Thank you very much. I am not a nerd. I am a geek. Thank you very much.
Whatever. They both mean the same thing now anyways.
And then there's also BMX Triple X, another game where you can be naked but ride your bicycle. And if you collected enough videotapes, you could watch strippers dance, FMV style. There were some topless FMV clips of the strippers, but nothing extra lewd. Just boobs.
Just boobs.
I got 2 games that are not necessarily naked stuff, but banned, I guess. There's a THQ game that they made called The Punisher, based off the Marvel's The Punisher. I got banned out there. I didn't look in to see why. From my understanding, it was a lot like the Wolverine game that came out. You guys ever heard of Agony that recently came out, like 2018?
No.
It sounds familiar, yeah.
I don't want to call it a first-person shooter, but you're a first-person kind of situation. You're going through hell. It's not really nudity, but there's a lot of like H.R. Geiger penis stuff, like wet aliens and like vagina doors. Like stick your hand in this goopy hole and the thing will open up.
Ugh.
Yeah, it wasn't pornographic, but it just made me feel uncomfortable.
Real quick, I want to throw this out here right now. And I know that we mentioned it probably during the ESRB, but our country is so fucking prudish about sex stuff that they're more okay with letting kids run around shoot motherfuckers all day. Now, don't get me wrong, it takes a lot before they actually put an actual limit on, that might be a little too far. But realistically, kids are running around shooting up people left and right. But God forbid that they see a boob or a flaccid penis, man. That's not going to kill them, man. I'd much rather, if I were to have kids, I'd much rather them be more okay playing sex games than they are with playing the super violent games, honestly. Because I feel like that does way more psychological damage.
Yeah, sex is definitely more human nature, where violence is also human nature, but not extreme violence. Now, if it was a porno game, whips and chains and like piss and pooping and whatever else, like, yeah, I probably shouldn't be making games about that. But like just showing a boob or, yeah, like you said, a flaccid penis, like, yeah, whatever. Everyone has one of those things.
Or both, honestly, depending on how big you are as a guy.
Or just in general. I mean, we have several trans people listen to us, so.
I was more so trying to make jokes about fat people, but thanks for trying to make me sound like a transphobe now, jerk.
I'm trying to find something in this book because I always go back to this James Paul Gee book, What Video Games Have to Teach Us About Learning and Literacy. There is a section about violence in video games. Somebody made remarks in regards to a violent video game right after the 9/11 terrorist attack. It says, one cultural model that seems to be at work here is something like this. The experience of violence will make people seek peace. In terms of the model, we can see the guerrilla fighter trying to push more powerful entities the guerrilla cannot defeat outright to settle their differences through negotiation rather than war. Some U.S. video games and much U.S. media devoted to warfare in the modern world. In the cultural model, like the experience of overwhelming violence will make less powerful entities give up and give in to more powerful entities seems at play. Note that, like all cultural models, these are not true or false. They're meant to help people make sense of themselves and others and to engage in joint activity with others with whom they share these cultural models. This is in regards to the game Under Ash. Under Ash is a Syrian publishing house designed video game. Its hero is a young Palestinian named Ahmed who throws stones to fight Israeli soldiers and settlers. The game involves a player deeply in the Palestinian cause and Palestinian perspective.
Sheesh.
Yes. Now you might not very well want to play Under Ash. If you did play the game, you would be placed in a situation where you took on the virtual identity of a character whose cultural models about many things are different from yours. If you not only adopted this virtual identity while you played vis-a-vis your virtual identity, you would surely come to understand what it feels like to be among these angry people who are trying to dry up their tears and heal their wounds. Would this mean you would all of a sudden want to kill Israeli settlers? Certainly not. But it would mean far more interactively that you would in any novel or movie you would experience from the other side, from the inside. Even more interesting, since the cultural models built into the game are not yours, you would be able to reflect on them in a more overtly conscious way than the young Arabic players for whom the models are taken for granted. You kind of made an interesting point about you would rather your kids play violent video games than sex games. There's a point where you have to mentally know whether or not your kid or person is mentally able to separate reality from what's in a video game. The example I use is when people say, oh, you play GTA or you play Mortal Kombat, you must be violent. I say, yeah, I played SimCity for 20 years. I'm not a fucking civil engineer. I can't build buildings, but I've played SimCity for 20 years. There's a cultural disconnect there in this country, and you absolutely nailed it on the head with there. And there are some games that I'm going to bring up right here. I got like maybe 2 minutes before we get to happy time. We're going to bring up a couple couple games that you would never have expected to be censored, like Punch-Out.
Like Tyson's?
Yeah, the character Soda Popinski was originally called Vodka Drakinski. It has a name change.
Super Mario Kart.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, the winning character depicted a bottle of champagne. Japanese version, Bowser and Princess both drink it, and this was against Nintendo's censorship policy. The one that I brought up to you, Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Yep.
Nobody would have known that that was considered a censored, controversial game. It's a cartoony top-down. Well, all depictions of blood and gore in the North American version were removed and changed to purple ooze. And then obviously we all know about Mortal Kombat.
Yep.
Crash Bandicoot 2, a death animation in which Crash is squashed into a stunned head and feet were altered for the Japanese version of the game due to its resemblance to the Kobe child murders.
Okay.
Jesus.
That went off the rail.
Yeah, we're doing that. We're doing that. It's like that kind of stuff. You know, that's kind of why we do it. We wanted to bring attention to some of these games. You're like, what? Crash Bandicoot was censored? Punch-Out was censored? Zombies Ate My Neighbors? Yeah, there's some games that are very overtly over the top, need to be censored, banned, and completely thrown away. But there are some that you would never expect to be like, oh, there's a little edge there. Breath of Fire 4, the scene where Lu decapitating Emperor Sonil in the Japanese version has been cut from the North American version. Dreamweb, the full frontal nudity, was censored in the Australian version. Fallout 3, the side quest The Power of the Atom was changed in the Japanese version to relieve concerns about depiction of atomic detonation.
Oh.
Silent Hill Homecoming, game had difficulties in passing censors in some countries. The Australian Classification Board refused to classify the game due to impact, violence, and excessive blood effects. Little Big Planet.
What?
Yeah, Little Big Planet. In later copies, the song lyric Tafa Niang was replaced with the instrumental version due to suspected quotes from the Quran being mixed with music.
Okay, so Legend of Zelda, can't remember if it's Majora's Mask or Ocarina of Time, the volcano level, their music had some Arabic stuff in there, which they had to censor that.
So yeah, like I said, there are some games that you absolutely know should be banned, but we just want to bring a little knowledge of not just the games that were banned, the history of how far back sex games really go. And some, like, just general knowledge of games that you maybe have played your entire life would never know. Like, if you played Punch-Out, Crash Bandicoot, Zombies Ate My Neighbors, Little Big Planet, you may have never known that they were censored in some countries for some odds and ends reasons. And that's the whole reason we're doing this episode.
So, as a follow-up then, out of many of the games that we've listed here today, have either of you gotten an opportunity to play not just the censored ones, because it's very clear that we've all played some of these censored games, but has either of you ever played one of these banned games or found a way around to play one of these banned games?
I played Custer's Revenge just because it was an option on the Raspberry Pi. I didn't go seek out any of the games for nefarious reasons, but it's like, you know, GTA 3 was banned in some countries, but I played GTA 3. Maybe I watched videos about them to be like, why is this banned? And then watched it and went, oh my God. It's not too much, but it's like, I'm good with watching it and not playing it. But yeah, Custer's Revenge was the one for me that it's like, okay, this is here. I have to try this just to say that I did. And I did, and I'm like, this is absolutely bananas.
I've definitely uncensored The Sims when they go take a shower or use the bathroom or have make whoopee. I've uncensored that before. Obviously, I've played BMX Triple X. I did play Playboy the Mansion. That was fun. That was not blurred out like The Sims were, though.
And then obviously, I think all of us have played the Modern Warfare.
Oh yeah, like that.
No
stuff.
Russian.
Yeah, probably.
The re-released version of that game gave you the option to skip past it. I don't think the original game did.
I think they patched it in.
Yeah, they patched it in later, but the original you had to go through it. And it's like, oh, but then yeah, I saw in a later version it was like, hey, there's a scene coming up here that.
Do you want to skip this?
Yeah, exactly.
What about you, Ricky?
So funny enough, I've never actually gotten an opportunity to play any of these banned games. Some of the censored games I played because everybody's played Mortal Kombat. I guess you can quote unquote call that one banned as well. I've played some of the Grand Theft Auto games now. I've seen videos for them as well, just because they kick up some dust and you're like, oh, I guess I'll check it out and watch it. I'm not going to waste any money on it, you know, or I'm not going to go out of my way to buy it because that's not who I am.
Yeah.
Now, as far as sex games go, the good old 69 games, whomst amongst us hasn't ever played one of those girlfriend simulator games online when they were a teenager, you know, and they're like, hey guys, let me get like my 15 minutes of privacy in here, okay?
Oh yeah, girlfriend simulators like Doki Doki Literature Club.
Yeah, I gotta go to the gym and I gotta go to the library. I gotta get smart and strong and I gotta figure out what her favorite gifts are. And oh, look at that, I finally get to see a boob.
Or video poker. Going to the bar. The little bar side machine.
Yes.
You put your quarter in there and play Candy Crush or whatever the fuck.
And we haven't even brought up early 2000s Flash games.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't brought up like Elf Bowling, where you pull the underwear back and you snap it. It's like shuffleboard, but with elves. I remember that being on our first gateway computer. We haven't even got to Flash games. Which,
I kind of skipped over a lot of those.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
there's a
that's
bajillion.
a lot to go through.
yeah, I was going to
There's
say,
so many of
that's a huge list.
Or the Steam games that are out there.
Oh, gosh. We don't even want to go through those.
Some of those VR games where you're like massaging the girl.
Yeah. I was just saying, yeah, we have a friend who he showed me his Steam Deck and it was showing me all the games on. I was like, dear Lord, guy, are the buttons not crusted together yet? Can you actually use that thing?
Are the buttons crusted together? That sounds like that's a good way to segue into Happy Time.
You saw him in college once.
Oh, gross. Happy Time, people. Happy 39th anniversary to Bomberman for the NES. Came out 39 years ago, 1985 for the NES. Wow. Happy 38th anniversary Kid Icarus for the Famicom. Harvest Moon GB for the Game Boy, 27 years ago. Sonic Advance 2 for the Game Boy Advance, 22 years ago. Final Fantasy this week turns 37.
Yeesh.
The OG Final Fantasy, yes. Did you guys have a favorite one or no?
I honestly have never played any Final Fantasies. Sadly.
Oh, 6 was my jam.
Final Fantasy 7 is pretty good. I've also played 11 as well. 11 was where I really got into it because I was like, oh, fuck yeah. I was playing that at a friend's house. And I was like, this is fucking tight, man. I can get into these. Personally, I would love to sit up and play all of the Final Fantasy games. I think it would be a blast. My only issue is that I get so sidetracked with all the side missions and all the other bullshit that I would probably never actually make it through the full game.
A very melancholy happy trails, Chris Farley. 27 years ago, passed away December 18th, 1997. Still the greatest SNL cast member of all time. I said what I said. I said what I said.
We were watching some SNL clips. If I remember reading correctly, the very first sketch that he was in, which means that his first appearance on SNL was the guy down by the river, living in the van down by the river.
Matt Foley.
Yes, him being the most outrageous comedic body physical actor anybody has ever seen, where he made everybody in the scene break multiple times because they could not stop laughing. They couldn't even say their own fucking lines because he was that good.
Christina Applegate.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You know how I say sometimes everybody's perception of time is a little screwy when you bring two things that you wouldn't think would be together? Because I'm about to do that. Chris Farley passed away one day before Titanic released in theaters. 27 years ago, December 19th, Titanic released in theaters.
Ugh.
My heart will go on.
One of many times that Leonardo DiCaprio was snubbed for Best Actor.
I think that might be the second movie I saw boobs in.
My first time was Dusk Till Dawn.
My first time was Swordfish.
Oh, Halle Berry.
Halle Berry's. Oh, yeah.
Nice. That's a good way to see him.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. She was always my favorite Bond girl.
From what I remember, I believe that they asked her to do topless. She said $1 million per boob, $2 million for that.
Hey, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm happy for her. I'm excited that she made bank off of that. Good for her. She would later go on to have that weird sex scene with Billy Bob Thornton that got her that Oscar, but you know.
Yeah.
Monsters Ball?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Hey, what a poll.
But the Leo thing, I'm coming back to that. Everybody in that fucking movie won an award. Everybody and everything won an award except for Leonardo DiCaprio. I find that to be malarkey. Everybody and everything in that movie won a fucking award. And they were like, that guy, nope. Even though we all make the fucking Jack, I just couldn't pull you up on the board, Jack. I love you, Jack. Fucking 87 years later and I'm still angry about it.
I will still go back and say there was room for them on that raft, but with as heavy as that board was, because they didn't spare any expense, you know. It was probably a huge oak door. If he would have climbed on, that door would have sank. They both would have died.
Yeah.
I will die on that hill, much like he died in that water. Do not care. Happy trail. Happy Trails, and you probably bought that movie or Swordfish or any of those movies at a Sam Goody, didn't you?
Happy Trails, Sam Goody, FIE, On Cue.
Well, we're officially saying Happy Trails to Sam Goody.
Oh, they're finally done? I thought they'd been done.
They're finally closing their last 2 locations. Come February 2025, the stores in Ohio and Oregon will shutter for good. From its heyday with 320 locations, becoming a $2 million operation, it was a spot for music fans before digital download and streaming took over. While manager Rick Polanski put it best, it stinks. The nostalgia is still... it stinks.
Guys, I'm throwing this out there right now. Just the same way that GameStop and Blockbuster stock skyrocketed, you just wait and see that a bunch of people are going to take this dead fucking stock and they're going to pump and dump this motherfucker so hard. And we're about to see a bunch of overnight millionaires from people doing that. I'm just throwing this out there right now. Throw about a couple $1,000s into Sam Goody stock while you can. Wait it out a couple years and boom, there you go. I will not be doing this because this is terrible financial advice, but just on the off chance that it works, you'll be thanking me later. And I would like a 1% cut.
Well, shout out Tom, who used to be a store manager, transitioned from On Cue to Sam Goody to FYE, got transferred, and then he eventually said, fuck it, I'm out. And then as soon as he quit, that's when all the local ones shut down because he was pretty much the only one keeping those stores open.
Yeah, man. And finally, happy trails to Just Letting Her Rip. Love it or hate it, holidays can have a lot in every sense. Size of the meals, specifically Thanksgiving, endless side dishes, stuffing your bowels like the turkey itself. Then there's the emotional intensity of the holiday, experience that sequesters you for hours, maybe with people you usually prefer to enjoy. If you do adore everyone at your table, the sensory overload can turn to a dining room into a pressure cooker. So why not get some released with a post-meal fart walk?
Okay, dokie.
Yeah, for the uninitiated, the fart walk exploded onto the internet earlier this year when TikTok creator Marilyn Smith coined the concept in a viral video. In it, she described how she takes a brief stroll with her husband after dinner each night that prompts them to both let her rip. She told Self magazine that the movement and the gas movement that accompanies it helps them relieve post-dinner feelings of bloating, among other benefits. It can boost gut mobility or movement in your intestines. It jumpstarts digestion and shuttle gas through your system, and you can move easily and get relief from pain, according to Felice Schnoll-Sussman, MD, a board-certified gastroenterologist at Weill Cornell Medicine and New York Presbyterian.
What about the walking with your cousin pre-Thanksgiving?
That's getting gassed up.
I was just getting ready to say the cousin walk is now the letting it rip walk.
Not the bong rip.
It can pop the lid off a high-pressure situation, especially if you're dealing with relatives who are full of hot air.
Yeah, we're just me and Sally are just gonna go for a walk. We're full, man. We gotta walk off some of this food together. Catch up with each other. And cue to 9 months later when Sally's having a kid with webbed toes.
Jesus.
Oh, and speaking of babies that are just a little messed up, Andy, where can they find you at?
God damn it.
That's how you do a segue, kids.
Find our podcast at retro_smash. I forgot to mention that last time. On X Twitter. We are on Blue Sky as Retro Smash, though. We're going to transition to the Blue Sky, trying to get the Nazi stuff out of the way and the Elon Musks and the whatnots. Send us an email at retrosmash@gmail.com. We did get a sort of email. It's another spam one. I just like reading these.
Yes.
This is from Masu Endo. He gave us an invoice for McAfee virus protection. Apparently, we owe him $655.99 according to this voucher. So hopefully, you better pay that. They also sent us 3 other ones of the same voucher with different phone numbers and invoice numbers from different people on the email.
Well, it sounds like they're serious. So you better make sure you check out our Patreon so we can pay our
bill,
our antivirus bill.
Talk about Patreon. Follow us there at the Retro Smashed. $1 will get you a shout out. Shout out to our buddy Danate Streetcar. He will be on episode 70, the Victory Achieved episode that we just recorded not too long ago. $3 for the Ricky Ramblings, where you can hear the behind the scenes Patreon episodes. $5 will get you the opportunity to give us an episode you'd like us to cover, be it a video game or subject matter, whatever the hell, I don't care. $10 for Can You Take Us Higher, get you that shirt and sticker set. I am thinking about adding on another Patreon level or adjusting some things because only Dan's supporting us, but we love you, Dan. But I like to get some more people to support us. We'll go to Weldy. Weldy, where are you at?
You can find me at twitch.tv/WeldyTime on Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday nights. You can find all of my old runs. Just go to YouTube and look up Weldy Time. You can find my channel, and you can find all of my old stuff. Also, I want to make a quick note on here. Chris, or Spanky Rambles, is part of the Victory Achieved. His name got denied again from Twitch.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that you reach him at the correct avenue. You can reach him as Sprambles, Sprambles. You can reach him at Sprambles, both on twitch.tv/Sprambles, and all of his old YouTube stuff is up at his new username, Sprambles, which we hope stays forever. And speaking of people we hope stay forever,
talking about people, whatever you're going to say, we just got a new follower on Blue Sky.
Woohoo!
Some guy named Ricky MJ.
That's sexy.
Is that you, Ricky?
It's almost like I was left out of the whole "where can they find you" at, Ricky, but that's okay.
Hey, Ricky, where can they find you real quick before my laptop dies?
Fuck you and your laptop. You should have charged it.
I did. This is like a 2-hour episode.
You guys can find me as I am no longer on Twitter. You can find me on Blue Sky at Ricky MJ. I think I'm dropping the whole Afro King thing, and that's about all I got. So that's where you can find me, on Blue Sky. I'm dropping off social media quite a bit, so we'll see where it goes from there. But that's all I got. Weldy, why don't you take us out?
I think I can do that for all of us here at the Retro Smash Video Game Podcast. Good night, Canada.
And a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
And a Happy New Christmas.
Keep your sticks on the ice.
GG's, that was fun. I like that one. And ending recording before I lose everything. 3, 2, 1.